Well, we're live. We're live. Relax, guys. It's 7:01. We're here. We're live. First episode of the new show. JD Delay, myself, guest Aaron Love, who of course is a regular guest on my show. Thank you for your disservice. What we're going to be doing here, well, we got a convict, we got a soldier, and then another soldier on this one. But we're just gonna, I think what we talked about, there's a lot of similarities between convicts and soldiers when it comes to like, not everything's the same, but it's kind of like a lot of personality types that aren't that far off. I talked to JD Delay about it. It's like kind of the difference between us, because me and JD have been friends for 20 years, is like you went to prison, I went to military before I went to prison. That's really
that's 100% it. 100%.
So welcome everybody.
It's a pleasure to be seated here in between two of you handsome bastards. Glad to be here.
Aaron?
I'm glad to be here too. What's up, everybody? I love being here. I can't believe I got invited on to do this. Just met JD, but JD and I already we wore the same shirt. Fuck pedophiles. That's what's going to happen. And there goes your channel,
you guys
Nate.
Did? Oh shit!
Yeah.
I'm the only one who doesn't have a.
Told you.
God damn it!
I have a shirt that says "Make pedophiles afraid again," and I saw your hat, JD. It was in the thing. I was like, I should wear that shirt, and I was like, no, I'll wear this one in case he wears the hat. I didn't want to match too much, but man, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to chop it up with you guys. I love both your channels.
I got JD's hat.
Nice.
Yes.
So we're good.
Hell yeah.
All right. Now we're all.
Hat. At least it's not a tiny hat. All right. There we go.
We're all there. All right. All right. So, hey, guys, we were going to talk pretty much the Epstein files most of the episode because there's a lot of crazy shit going on with that. But according to the chat, we just found out about some crazy Navy SEAL Team 6 story. That they smoked a bunch of North Korean civilians. Chat knew about it. I didn't. Hold on, I keep seeing this comment. Let's address this right up front. Where'd that go? This guy is like, he thinks he's got a gotcha about my Special Forces ODA in 2018. Yes, so our ODA plus the U.S. Air Force, 60 Afghans, AC-130s, an Air Force combat controller, A-10s, Apaches. Yes, that ended up being the confirmed in the Aruzgan Valley for our team, which is actually far less than what 3 of the ODAs had in Nangarhar Valley fighting ISIS. And guys, you think me talking about what my Special Forces team did, bragging about what my team accomplished, is a gotcha?
Dude, they killed 4,000 people in the opening of GWAT. Will Markham and a guy named Yoshi. The combat controllers, they killed 4,000 people in 8 weeks with the triple nickel. You're talking about 587. 587 is slow. What are you talking about?
I know. Like how fucking stupid these people are. This is a gotcha. Okay. Yes, I will brag about what my team and my unit accomplished in 2018 all day long. Unlike Shrek, I didn't say that I killed 587 people
by himself.
And next time you want to talk shit to Nate, you have to put a super in, peasant. It costs you money to talk shit to my people.
No, I keep seeing this one, which is retarded. Yes, that is, and that can be confirmed by my fucking teammates, who I'm going to have my longtime teammate on the show Monday. And to Aaron's point, that's not even a lot for the Air Force and an AC-130 in a 6-month deployment. It's actually pretty slow, so fucking retarded. Let's move on. All right. Yeah, look, this dude's like, if we killed over 800 in one deployment. Yeah, guys, like anybody, obviously the guy who made that comment's never actually deployed. So let's move on with the show. Let's talk about this Navy SEAL shit. Apparently, but Aaron, can you go through this story? Because the only thing I know about this story is what you told me.
I got it. Yeah. So this is crazy. I'm going to read from the article. Some of them are behind a paywall, but don't worry, everybody. I try to bring value. I got you. I hacked that shit and I'm in it. So basically what happened in 2019 is President Trump had to green light a tier 1 mission, the Navy SEALs tier 1 mission out of Dev Group. And basically what they did is they wanted to go and place an electronic communication device in North Korea to intercept North Korean communications. So a group of Navy SEALs emerged from the ink black ocean on a winter night in early 2019 and crept on a rocky shore in North Korea. They were on a top secret mission, so complex and so consequential that everything had to go exactly right. Spoiler alert, it fucking didn't. So basically what the SEALs did is they have these sweet little delivery units, the SEAL delivery vehicle, that can take a number of SEALs and put them subsurface. It's a vehicle, so they don't have to swim. Then they can park at a disembarkation point. Then they can go ahead and go subsurface and then go attack a beach, right? So the SEALs fucked up the parking. They were supposed to park all in one way. They didn't. They had to, one of the SDVs passed the point, then they had to turn around. So they were basically parked like cops talk to one another, like in the 69 position, as they call it. So they had to basically figure all this stuff out while the team, the assault team, was swimming. This was supposed to be a completely covert, completely clandestine operation where they were going to approach the shore. Then they were going to hit the shore, place this communication device, get back in, go into SDVs and leave. That's how it's supposed to go. Well, they screwed up like 4 different times. So basically the SDVs were parked wrong. When the SEALs popped up, they had thermals on, but there was apparently a fishing boat that they completely freaking missed that was just bobbing in the water that was pretty close to the SEAL team that was starting to move. The team that was swimming never saw it. They started to move the SDVs so that they could put them in a correct exfil orientation, like when they were getting ready to leave. So exfiltration orientation. As the team got up onto the shore, something happened that alerted the North Korean fishing boat to the presence of the SDVs. Now, the details here are really murky. Like 25 people have come out. I think they interviewed over 24 people for this specific piece that was here. But the North Korean boat appeared out of the dark, and flashlights from the bow swept over the water. Fearing that they had been spotted, the SEALs opened fire. Within seconds, everyone on the North Korean boat was dead. So they basically got hard compromised. The guys on the shore saw what they thought was a search going on. So what most likely happened here, and this is just my assumption from knowing how this stuff goes on, the fishermen heard something weird. They were out there fishing late at night. They were in wetsuits, so it basically stopped the thermals from working. So the team never saw the boat, never saw the fishermen, because they weren't picking up thermals up, because the neoprene will cool everything down and then basically foul your thermals. The team swims to shore. Well, when they turned around and basically looked back out to sea, they saw a boat that they completely missed that they thought was right on top of where the SDVs were. When you have split team operations like that, you basically have a tactical plan of, if you get compromised, I'm doing this. If I get compromised, you're doing this. Well, the team that was on shore enacted their emergency action procedures, which was, we're going to kill everybody in the freaking boat. And then they left, and they never even placed the communications device. So the 2019 operation has never been publicly acknowledged or even hinted at by the United States or North Korea. The details remain classified and are being reported here for the first time. The Trump administration did not notify key members of Congress who oversee intelligence operations before or after the mission. The lack of notification may have violated the law. The White House declined to comment.
So how did this break? Like, how did
whistleblower?
I mean, this was what, 5-6 years ago now, and it just broke.
Yeah,
I love your hat, JD, but it's hot. I gotta put on a regular hat.
You're good, brother.
Yeah, the timing is definitely weird. Like, why is it coming out now? Why is it that we're talking about it now? Several of the people that said they were discussing details about the mission because they were concerned the special operations failures are often hidden by the government. If the public and policymakers, if the policymakers became aware of only high-profile successes, such as a raid that killed bin Laden in Pakistan, they may underestimate the extreme risks the American forces undertake.
Wow. I mean, that's so. Well, I saw some comments in here. Is that like some people saying war crimes and stuff like that? That's kind of an interesting conversation. There is eliminating. If you get compromised, and we all know the stories, right? You got Bravo. Was it Bravo 20?
20, yeah, the British
lone survivor. We all know that it's a tale as old as time. You get compromised, you don't eliminate the people that compromised you, you end up either dead or a political prisoner. Is that a war crime to eliminate civilians and armed when you're compromised in North Korea?
People seem to forget that from 2008 to 2000.
What's the ROE, I guess?
Yeah. 2008 to 2000. When did Obama get out? 2016. Obama killed 1,500 civilians, to include 2 Americans, with a judge, jury, and executioner drone program. And nobody talked about war crimes then. So you're going to have to fucking forgive me on the pearl clutching on this one. They got compromised. They protected themselves. They left. It was a failed mission. I don't care. I'd like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, especially North Korea, like, imagine the blowout of that, because 2019, I remember, so in 2018, in first group, when we were getting ready to go to Afghanistan, we actually had all of our cold weather gear packed in Connexes that would be ready to be shipped if we had to rotate to North Korea, because all of the little rocket man back and forth with Trump and North Korea was going on. That was first group. We were actually legitimately planning for that war. Mm-hmm. But could you imagine if in 2019, during the height of that, like SEAL Team 6 dudes got compromised and taken prisoner in North Korea?
Crazy. Crazy. And just
The
a comment from the chat here. Obama did it so that we could do it too. No, I'm saying it's not whataboutism. I'm saying there was no talk about the kill list from Obama. There was no talk about the program where he got briefed by Clapper every single Tuesday with a list of people that they were going to kill, and then without approval from Congress, Obama went out and murdered people, to include civilians. He murdered Al-Anwaki and his son for the crime of being on that list, and that's it. So Obama murdered American citizens. The hubbub about this one, whatever. I agree with telling people that special operations fail, and especially since it's the Navy. Like, I just find it hilarious. Like, I got him.
It's DevGru again, right? Like,
right.
You know, I mean, especially timing. And again, we don't know enough about it, but that's wild to me. Did this get leaked by a whistleblower, or this somehow
multiple?
Okay, so this wasn't like, we're going to finally just be honest
right.
randomly. The Trump administration's not just randomly going to be honest about this.
No.
Well, all right. Okay, I think that's probably the best we know. The best I don't know anything about it, so I don't have a whole lot more to talk about it. If we want to, is that good enough, chat? Did we kind of highlight that? Hopefully. Let's talk about what we're here to talk about, which is the fucking Epstein debacle.
Man.
We have this timeline. We've gone from the Epstein client exists and the Trump administration is going to expose it, to it doesn't exist, to it's a Democrat hoax, to maybe it exists, to now, like, this exploded out of nowhere in Congress. And they're like, just the victims now. And I'm going to show a clip of one of the victims. The victims now are talking about making a list themselves.
Yep.
And just putting it out, which is spiraling. So I don't know, JD, you want to like fill us in? How do we? What the hell is going on with Congress right now with all the victims, and where are we at currently?
So there is such a power struggle going on, and there's so much, in my opinion, like efforts to just create disinformation to sort of deflect right now. I think one of the major key points, one of the things that they've done that's really gotten people completely twisted the fuck up, and I'm constantly trying to inform people in the comment sections, is people genuinely believe that Trump tried to release all of the files, and that judges were like, no, that's not the files. That's not actually what we want. It was grand jury testimony.
Right.
Now, grand jury testimony is going to be very focused and limited information, because it only focuses on, so you go before a grand jury when you have an investigation and you want to actually bring forth an indictment, and they tell you what you can indict people on from the information that you give them, or if it's just a bust and they're just like, fuck you, go back to square one. Now, all of this is clearly going to be focused on the person that you're trying to indict. It's not going to have peripheral people all involved in that. And that's actually who we're going for, because we already know that Epstein was involved. We already know that Ghislaine Maxwell was involved. So to try to like subpoena the grand jury transcripts is really irrelevant, and nobody fucking cares. And we rarely ever, I don't know if there's any precedent. It's incredibly rare to subpoena grand jury testimony and get it brought out, because it's stuff it's just not what we want. What we want is the names. We want the names of the people who raped fucking kids, dog. And everything that you use as a distraction or a deflection away from giving us the names of people who raped kids. Okay, you say there's not a list. First you said there's a list. You're going to release the list. We're going to get the list. Now you're saying there's not a list. Okay, homie, well, check it out. There was a whole FBI investigation. People were convicted. People went to prison. People are dead. There's video. There's money transfers. There's everything that we could possibly need to get at the people who raped kids on an island. And I don't care if they're left or right. I don't care if they're rich or fucking poor, but let's face it, Epstein wasn't going after people that were powerless and poor. He wasn't flying peasants on private planes out to a remote island to rape kids. The reason that they were there is because they had power, they had money, they had something that could be used if they had blackmail material on them. Now, I think Aaron is going to agree with me on this. Epstein 100% was an operative. He was working.
JD, real quick, I want to play this clip from Congressman or Congresswoman Anna Polina, who I like. She's been on my
Huge
show
fan.
before. The only
She
congresswoman
has?
or congressman to ever be on my show, so we got to give a shout out to her. But
Love
she
her.
had
We're
this-
mutuals on Insta.
Yeah.
She had this to say about exactly what you're talking about, JD, which I think was really interesting.
The biggest thing that stands out to me is the victims themselves have stated that this is a lot bigger than I think anyone anticipated. We are obviously going to be requesting the SARS reports from Treasury, and also following up on that. There's some very rich and powerful people that need to go to jail. I think everyone's been frustrated as to why that hasn't happened before. But it is very much so a possibility that Jeffrey Epstein was a intelligence asset working for our adversaries. But also, too, I think the questions that we have is how much did our own government know about it?
Working for our adversaries or one of our greatest allies? Do you need to show the flag?
I'm out. Everybody.
Yep. Gotta put it up, dog.
Chat. Get them up in the chat. Get your flags up, boys. JD's about to get us all demonetized. It's okay. We'll get our protections up. Stand by.
So a couple things here too that I want to add some nuance to. So number one, that grand jury testimony almost never gets unsealed. You're exactly correct. The grand jury testimony almost never gets unsealed. The thing that people are missing here is when they talk about a list, and this is going to come in
the chat, spam those Israel flags. All right, we got to make sure the algorithm knows. Stand by, guys. I'm just going to do this real quick to you so everybody can see flags in the chat. We love Israel here. Israel number one. All right, we're good now.
Venezuela nation. Nation.
There we go.
There's a couple of
all right, guys.
There's a couple reasons why people are talking about this and they're fucking stupid. So number one, it's not just an FBI investigation. The FBI largely stays away, especially when you're talking grand jury indictments. They stay away from stuff like classified material. Jeffrey Epstein was 100% a foreign agent. He had a Jordanian passport. He was in bed with literally and figuratively with Adnan Khashoggi. Ghislaine Maxwell's father was a Mossad agent. He was working for multiple different countries as an asset. Well, what does that mean? It means the CIA has surveillance tapes. It means the NSA has surveillance tapes. It means those are classified, top secret. It's secret, compartmentalized information. That information that they could have used for the indictment, they can't use that for political or for prosecution because those court proceedings are open to the public. You can't prosecute with secret information in court. So when we're talking about this list and we're talking about how deep this goes, people are like, oh, well, how does the FBI not have a list? There's probably a list. The NSA probably has it because they were probably using a FISA warrant to spy on him using the FARA. Like all this shit is so deep. Like, so when people talk about this, they're like, oh, we want the list. We want the list. Motherfucker, the list isn't declassified. Nobody's going to declassify it because that has sources and methods from the CIA and the NSA spying on American citizen, number one of them, Jeff Epstein, and most likely his entire circle. When you're talking about who his circle was, you're talking Les Wexner. You're talking the multi-billionaire that owns all of Ohio and Victoria's Secrets and Abercrombie and Fitch and Forever 21 and every mall that's around there. His name is on the Ohio Buckeyes Stadium. Like, we're talking about Chase had to pay a $290 million settlement to the victims because their CEOs were going to the island. We're talking about the height of power.
And it's like, there's no way that, like you said, I don't know if there's like an actual list in a book, right? Like if this physical copy, but like there's no way that all of these people in power don't know, especially in Congress, like they've got to know who all these people are.
They do.
That were going to the island. And for one, a bunch of them were going to the island. So you saw the guys next to you like, oh, there's Bill Clinton, there's whoever, right? Like what I think's interesting with Congressman Luna talking about that is, I mean, she's appointed by Trump to declassify what I don't remember the specific job she has.
It's like oversight committee or something.
Oversight committee, right?
Yeah.
So it's
declassifying government secrets.
Yeah, but it's very odd to me because again, I'm like super like I don't want to say fuck Trump, but over the Epstein stuff. But I mean, we're pretty close, and like my biggest thing is like the red line in the sand is like JD said. Like fucking kids on an island. Nah, dude. Like no thanks. If you're going to defend that, like I'm not in for it. But if Trump appointed Congressman Luna to do the job and she's coming out and saying how bad it is and how many people need to go to jail, it seems to me like, and I don't know if Trump's involved, but like a little awkward to like appoint someone to expose everybody if you're going to be exposed. What do you guys think about that? With Trump being sort of involved, because this, I mean, we're going to get into that, right? Like,
so Trump was on the.
What's our thoughts here?
Trump was on the flight logs. We've known this since 2015, anywhere between 7 and 16 times. When people say Trump was on the list and whatever, and I am very measured about this. Nate and I have gone back and forth on this all the time. I won't defend anybody, especially anybody that ever hurt a kid. But when you look at the fact pattern, yeah, Trump was on the flight logs most times with his family, most times back and forth from New York to Mar-a-Lago. 7 to 16 times, never left the States, never went to the island. He PNG'd.
The last time he got on the flight, the last time he took a flight was a year before Epstein even owned the island.
Right. Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that him and Epstein didn't do horrific things other places, like certain Jane Does have claimed.
Yep. You're right.
But none of the survivors that came out and spoke seem to have been implicating Trump at all. In fact, they came out on national TV and said they'd never seen Trump do anything inappropriate. They literally personally named him in their press conference, asking and begging him to help them with this situation. And then he spit in every single one of their faces by going on his press conference and saying it's all a Democrat hoax after they just cried their eyes out, put their lives and their families at risk by coming forward and speaking in public about this after they've already received death threats to themselves and their families, as they well stated. And we see what happens to people like that when they come forward.
And then I do want to show you guys real quick this post I saw, which it goes into what we're talking about here and what you guys think about this. Jeffrey Epstein kept an 8x10 frame picture of Donald Trump on his desk, survivor claims. Trump was his biggest brag. Now, who knows if this is true? I mean, it's coming from one of the victims. I'm definitely not gonna go against what she's saying. That's pretty fucking weird, especially considering all the pictures and all the times we've seen them together.
Did you ever see the art that they took out of Jeff Epstein's house?
Yeah. Did you see the painting of Bill Clinton in a blue dress?
We're going to get into what the victims are saying about Bill Clinton here in a second, because it's a lot worse than they're saying about Trump. That's for sure.
Here's the thing is you have been in this space long enough, and we're on a tiny little scale, bro. But like, I've been in this space long enough to know that like people will clout chase. You know, you've got people attacking you right now just to glaze the syrup off the bottom of your undercarriage to try to get a few clicks and views. You know what I'm saying? Like these pathetic fucking rock crawling little fucking spiders coming out of the darkness to, fuck Nate, I'm gonna make a video, blah, blah. And they'll lie and they'll make videos like slicing you up to make it look like you said things you didn't say, like anything for a monicum or a sliver of fucking clout or attention. And Jeffrey Epstein was one of those dudes. You can tell by the pictures that he took, the people that he was getting next to. Honestly, I feel like he was a creepy fuck, and everyone looks uncomfortable when they're in pictures with him. He seems like that type of dude who he just has one of those auras of like a stank ass coochie that's pH has been bad for like 3 or 4 years and live in Florida.
This is what you guys are here for this show right here.
You know what I'm saying? Like one of these bitches that like doesn't even go to the gym, but heavy sweats and like that type of coochie energy. And they feel it when he's around, but you know, he's in these places. He positions himself through money and through his connections. And that's what an asset does, is they put themselves in a situation where they can network with these people. And, you know, he found the scum of the earth. He found people who wanted to go out to a kid to, or an island, out to a kid to fuck an island, out to an island to fuck kids, you know, and he was trying specifically to place himself in these situations. So, you know, he had pictures with like everybody. That's what clout chasers do. They take pictures with everybody and then they're like, oh, this is my best friend. This is my best friend. But did Trump have creepy ties? I don't know. The main thing that I will say is the thing that exposes Trump more than any pictures, more than anything that they've allowed to be released, is his fat, disgusting fucking mouth, bro. The shit that he said about 10-year-old girls, the shit he says about grabbing women by the pussy.
Yeah, you're not
the
wrong.
Shit that
his own daughter, dude.
Yeah, his own daughter. That's creepy as fuck, dog. Like, I have a daughter that age, and I would fucking literally go back to prison.
Yeah, that's the
if a
grossest thing ever.
motherfucker was talking about my daughter like that. It would never cross my mind, because I'm not a weird fuck to speak about my daughter in that type of a way. And if that's what he says out loud on camera, what's rolling around in the back of his mind? His mouth is what gets him in trouble. He literally comes out and tells us that we're weak-minded and dumb, and he doesn't want our support. If we care about the people in the top positions in our world going to a creepy island with a creepy ass dude and fucking kids, yes, we give a fuck about that motherfucker.
Yeah, we do. We all do.
What the fuck, bro? It's his mouth, bro. It makes him look guilty as fuck. That's not how an innocent person acts.
Well, and it's the optics too. So the very next day, who did he have in a position of authority and a position of power and respect? Who did he bring into the White House the very next day and had a big press conference with? Bill fucking Gates. Bill Gates.
So
why did Melissa Gates divorce Bill Gates? It's on record. She said because of your relationship with Epstein. Trump has always been Trump's biggest enemy and Trump's biggest detractor. He does stupid shit like this because he honestly does. I honestly think it's because he doesn't give a fuck. He just does things. But when you start looking at it, I'm all about truth and nuance and being able to look at something and logically make a decision, right? And I can put up a million things of why I think that it's not in Trump's character to do it. I can tell you about how he PNG'd Epstein and kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for being a creep in 91. I can tell you about Epstein's lawyer, subpoenaing 200 people to come talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And the only person that did it with no time limit was Donald Trump. And that was in 2009. His lawyer said that. I can give you those, but there are just as many fucking examples of him doing dumb shit that makes me go, what the fuck, man? What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. But did he really kick Epstein out did he really kick Epstein out for doing creepy shit, or did he kick Epstein out because Epstein was poaching his girls that were working there? Because he's even said that he was poaching he's stealing my girls. And why the fuck do you have underage girls working at your spa, my guy?
Well, those ones weren't underage. The story goes as close to facts as you can get. There's three sides to every story, right? There's our side, their side, and the truth, right? So he kicked them out for essentially propositioning the people that were working there. When he said, my girls, I'll be as gracious as I possibly can. I am the supervisor of people. If somebody fucks with my guys, I say they're my guys too. That doesn't imply that I'm banging them or I'm grooming them. It just means I refer to them as my people, right? Like they're also not slaves. They're not 3/5 of people that I own, but they're my people, right? As gracious as I possibly can. That is the way that I would frame that. That unfortunately, there's too many other things, just like you're saying, like talking about his daughter Ivanka, talking about grabbing.
Well, also, he ran a beauty pageant with fucking underage girls,
and would walk into the locker room.
To just walk into the locker room with just minors naked. He
had two beauty pageants. One was for underage girls, and one was actually the Miss Universe contest, which was women of age. And that's the one he was referring to, that he would walk back there and be able to see beautiful naked women. But it's still, whether they're of age or not, you're like, you're using your authority.
Still fucking creepy.
On women that are vulnerable to be a fucking creep, dog. It's creep behavior.
Help me fucking help you, Trump. Help me make a case for you, because you keep fucking it up. When you have a guy that went to the island and got divorced over it, and then you put him at the White House the day after the victims speak, and the Congress people said the testimony made them physically ill. People had to walk out of there. They were physically ill. They couldn't keep hearing what they were hearing. You can't have fucking Bill Gates to the White House a day after that. It's terrible optics. It's bad decision making.
And I forget the dude's name.
Hold on, JD. Let me put this up to just him stepping on his own dick saying shit real quick, right? So let's watch this.
Oh, here we go.
This moments after the press conference with the survivors.
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. It reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax, because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president.
All right. So,
okay.
Democrat hoax, but yet, and I'll show it here in a minute, the survivors, the literal worst shit they had to say about anyone was about Bill Clinton. But this is a why would a Democrat hoax?
Who funded the Bill Clinton Foundation? Who funded the Clinton Foundation? Jeff Epstein did.
And also, to say that right after all these fucking poor victims come and testify that this is all a hoax, What the fuck are you doing?
So
Nobody
I want to say
this is a Democrat hoax. Nobody believes that.
Like, I don't want to pull this out like a fucking flag every single time, but I need to say this as a survivor of childhood sexual assault. I find what that fat mouthed, disgusting, blubberous pig did by coming out and disrespecting the testimony of those survivors and their bravery to come forward in front of the entire world. I talk about, do you have any idea how fucking much it rattles my fucking undercarriage every time I say and admit that as a child, a dude fucked with me like that, bro? Like, it is so jarring. And the dude who did it to me is an absolute fucking nobody. But the dudes who did it to them are powerful. They're rich. They're elites. They can have terrible shit happen to them and their families. A lot of these survivors didn't make it because when they tried to come out, they mysteriously died. Like, mysterious shit happened. Like, look at Virginia Guffrey, very recently, when her brother went up there and gave his testimony wearing her brooch, her butterfly brooch. I'm not gonna lie and try to play tough guy, bro. It made me fucking cry. I was on a live wearing these glasses and there were tears running down my fucking face. So for that disgusting fucking rancid Sal to come out and say that shit, disrespecting them immediately afterwards, makes my fucking blood boil, dog. Like, they were children at the time when this was done to them by powerful fucking men. And they've waited over a decade just to be able to use their voice. And immediately afterwards, he shits across it with his disgusting man pleaser.
Yep.
And he fucking flew. Did you see he flew fucking jets over the top of the victims when they were trying to speak at that press conference?
Multiple times. Now, I also want to say, when we talk about optics, I forget the dude's name. Was it LB or LD? The dude that he appointed to be in charge of the presidential youth fitness program that he's bringing back, which I love that program. I think it's fucking great.
I know what you're talking about.
But
I don't remember
he's
who's
an
in
old
charge.
football player that has child sexual assault charges against him. He's a convicted child predator, and he put him in charge of the presidential youth fitness program in this country.
Not great.
Like, what the fuck are you doing, dog?
That's not great. All right, hey, let's that was powerful stuff, JD. Let's fucking hit some super chats before I jump into us talking about. I want to talk about.
Yeah, I feel bad. Sarah Beamer did one a long time ago, and I love Sarah.
We're gonna talk about potential intelligence connections next, but let's hit these super chats before we get too far behind.
The agents of Azuli.
All right, Sarah Beamer, $10. What you said on Unsub could start some real change. Let's get Brandon in office. You and Brandon doing a video. So proud of you to call out Jack's family. Love you guys. That's for JD.
Hey, and Sarah, we absolutely love your profile picture. We talked a lot. I'm not sure which one she's referring to because I did like 3 podcasts with them while we were there, and I sat through the filming of multiple where I interjected. But I also love your profile picture. Big respect to Zach, man. Zach Bell, veteran with the sign, my homie. He was out there with us for the unsubscribed filming again this time.
Yep, good dude. All right, JD's the meat in the hot military man sandwich. Too bad it's not Thursday. There it is, dude. Thank you.
Always Thursday here, buddy.
Yeah. Dubs. Oh shit.
Big
Dubs in the chat. Dubs
Hell
is our
yeah.
boy, dude. For those who don't know, Dubs is well versed in the alpha male universe takedowns of all the dipshits over there. What's up, buddy? Appreciate you being here. The Enigma, hell yeah. Have a good one, guys. Much love from the Netherlands. Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. Buff like Jesus. I always love this name. Following the Natty Ice live protocol, gas station booze and harsh language, probably the best trench grenade, his internet. That's probably me because I love gas station booze and fucking screamed at trench grenade. For those of you who don't know, it's so funny. Like, we've seen the Nikki TV where he clipped me. My dad's a lawyer. What he didn't show was on that live stream, Trench Grenade threatened to sue me for defamation. The clip that he clipped out right before I said my dad's a lawyer. Trench Grenade threatens to sue me for defamation. And I said, you can fucking try, but my dad's a lawyer and I have a master's degree. Because yes, if someone threatens to sue you for defamation, yeah, I'm glad my dad's a fucking lawyer. So clip that, send it out.
Yeah. Just so everybody knows, I heard from my lawyer this morning because he saw that Benazuli video and he's like,
yeah,
laughing. Me and my lawyer are laughing at that fucking puke about that shit. Like, he's like, bro. And he's a beast. He's a hawk. He's just waiting to go to court with me.
He wish a motherfucker would. He's not hoping it doesn't happen. He wish a motherfucker would.
This is easy peasy. This one's for me, so I'm going to read it. Always sad when civilians get killed. My great-grandfather was a Canadian soldier in Italy in World War II and said that he hated seeing women and kids get caught in the no man's land. By the way, don't listen to the haters, Nate. Love you, dog. Hell yeah.
Thank you, brother. Here's the thing, man. Everybody thinks it's like you crashed out. It's like, yeah, I also put on 30,000 subscribers in my YouTube channel in the last week. So am I that upset about it? Nah, not really, boys. So, yeah, let's be real, right? It is what it is. I usually don't like fucking flip the bird to you guys for the hate, but like, yeah, we're doing just fine. Vet's talking. What's up, brother? Love you. Story is obvious. Spin lies. From what I read, this looks like NK Navy, not civvies.
Yeah.
North Korean Navy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So potentially not civilians, but actually North Korean Navy that they schwacked. I hope so. That would be a lot better.
I'd feel better.
Yeah. Hey, Vet's Talking just did a video on this too. So go over. He's got a great page. I've been on there before. Go over to check out Vet's Talking on X. He just did a video on it too. So if you guys want more on that shooting, he just did one.
There you go, guys. And he's always here supporting the channel. So appreciate you, brother. All right, Quinn. Is this one, JD? Which ones are the ones with the icons? Yours or mine? I don't know how.
Honestly, I think that the ones without the icons are maybe they're yours since it's your channel. I don't know. I'm so confused, bro.
It's just a bunch of boomers trying to figure out technology.
Sorry, you guys.
I'll just read them. Quinn Verrills, $5. Good evening, y'all. Hope y'all had a good day. Way past my bedtime. F insomnia. Well, we appreciate you being here. Wood chipper. Fuck yeah. Wood
chipper. Alex, love you, buddy. Good to see you, man.
Blue, what's up, brother? Appreciate you always being here. Why does no one bring up Epstein's New Mexico ranch? Where
New Mexico ranch, yeah.
He
has a ranch in New Mexico.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, Skinwalker Ranch?
That.
Oh,
yeah,
bro.
It's a crazy name too, dog.
We'll talk about that as soon as we're done with the supers. Sergeant Will, $20. Thank you very much for that dono. Nate, I support you, sir. You said I didn't deploy. What do you mean I said you didn't deploy? I said for my unit alone, we had 800 EKA. I know. I said when I pulled that comment up, I was agreeing with you and said, those numbers are pretty normal. What you said,
Nate, was you were making fun of people that have never deployed that are saying that that's a big number. You were giving him credit by saying, hey, 800 is totally right. 500 is really not that much. And then the next thing that you said out of your mouth was, it's obvious that these dudes that are saying those numbers are low.
Sorry, Will, I wasn't talking about you. I was agreeing with your comment and then talking about the people that left the prior comment about that. So sorry for the confusion, but no, I was fucking with you on that one, brother. Joe Saunders, $5. Okay, your major supporters are on the log or on the island. If you had to prosecute, pursue Muddy, no, just saying. Yeah.
Look, man, I think it's important because that Anna Luna clip that you had was great, but part of what she said in that same press statement was that this is going to a criminal investigation at this point. She did announce that, which I think was the most important thing that happened all day, not to dishonor the survivors, but I believe the survivors would 100% agree with me on this. Not to speak for them, but as a survivor myself, I think that hearing Anna Luna say that this is going to a criminal investigation now because they do have names, I think that was the biggest thing. And that the reason that she said the reason they're not releasing names is you're not going to release names of people you just opened an investigation on. And as somebody who was a criminal for a long time, I can 100% verify you're always like, fuck, is that the feds in the bushes? Are those the shadow people? Is that a drone? That pigeon looks like a drone and it's been following me. You don't want to let them know because then they get a little smarter. They get a little more covert about things and they cover their asses.
Yeah. Yeah, and from what my interactions with Anna, especially offline, like she's a fucking bulldog, dude. Like, and dude, I love her. She's legit. Like, she's not like she has a lot of integrity and she cares about this stuff. So it's good to see her on it. All right, Stephen Walsh, $10. JD, thanks. Understand your pain. Bless you, brother. Easy peasy.
We missed Lincoln Von Dugelfucker.
Oh, let's get that one.
Lincoln
let's make sure we get
That's
Lincoln
my boy,
Von
bro.
Dugelfucker.
I love Lincoln Von Dugelfucker. What's up, bro? It is gnarly obvious that if Valhalla or JD wanted anything wanted to do anything to Benazuli, they wouldn't need a hitman. I love these response videos. My dog, I love you so much, bro. And
Aaron, you might not be tracking the alpha male universe drama, but old Ben Azuli made a video accusing me, JD Delay, John Bravo, and another creator of sending a hitman after his mom.
Jesus Christ. Get out
he
of here.
knows
Anything
that
for the
this
clout,
happened.
dog.
He knows that this happened. He knows this happened because
mom?
the hitman...
For your old Jewish lady mom? No, we're okay, dude.
Brother, I have friends that are just bored that would go do this, and I wouldn't have to pay anybody for it. Are you kidding me? What are you talking about?
The hitman sent him an email letting him know, and that's how he knows, because the professional hitman that somebody hired sent him an email letting him know that he was not even going to kill his mother, just sodomize her till she's incontinent. And I think that nobody pointed this out, but I think it's really important that we point this out. He seemed really familiar with those date rape drugs. Like, he knew the exact pronunciation and spelling.
Sorry,
that dude's got an MO.
We're getting sidetracked for those of you who don't know the story, but this guy accused me and JD of sending a hitman after his mom. It shows this email that the hitman sent. And then, of course, dudes in the community pulled up the actual email and ran it through diagnostics to see the domains and everything. It turns out it's not even a real email and didn't come from a real email domain. He just made it up on the spot.
So
and that's what he claims to have taken to the police, because we're going to prison. Especially you, JD, with your criminal record. You could do 10 years in federal penitentiary. Shut the fuck up. Weird ass.
This one's for you, JD.
Is this one for me? Okay, so Easy Peasy said, you know what? I actually think that I got this fucked up because I know Lincoln Von Dukelfucker is one of the wood chipper army.
Maybe it's me. I don't know.
So I think the ones with the little chain looking thing are me. I think this is you because you're hosting.
All right, my theory, J.E. was a sadistic serial R who made billions through Jeffrey Epstein through a shady business and had equally evil friends. I don't think he was a spy, but his mates had connections that he leveraged. We are going to talk about that specifically here in the next section, Easy Peasy, where we get everybody's take on, was he an intel agent, who for, if not. So we'll talk about that. All right, meaning that his mates had spy connections. Yeah, and it could be that he could be adjacent to it. Kevin, $20. JD killing it. Yes, sir. Dominar Rigel, the 16th.
That's Dominar. That's my boy, man. I fucking
Trinity
love Dominar.
Of awesomeness. Yes, sir. All right, let's get through these. Trench Grenade is really Timu Force. Okay. First of all, guys, Trench is not a bad guy, man. I've been talking to him offline. He's a nice kid. He got a little retarded, and he got smacked into place, but he's not a bad guy. All right, Nemi.
We don't pick on retards, bro. Like, it's okay that your mom drank while she was pregnant with you. We're not gonna bully you about it.
Nah, he's a good dude, man. Trench is coming on the show next week. He couldn't be on this week because he's got drill sergeant stuff or whatever. But we'll
guys figured it out. You touch
we touch tips and we're good. My dog disagrees and uses his natural nectar on it for some deep. What are you talking about, dude? Proud of you, Israel Viking, dude. This is our fellow fucking Viking in the chat that always drops some crazy Scandinavian shit in the chat.
Hell yeah,
appreciate you, brother. Ricky Ross, $10. Native JD was an SF. Which group do you think he'd be fit in? Keep up the good work, gents. Oh, JD. Not first group, because that's where all the fucking trannies and pedos are. So probably not group, first group. Yeah, probably fifth group. That's kind of just like the gnarly fucking grungy group where all the ex-convicts are. Yeah. Not first group, I don't think. All right, Chris, $10, just showing some love for Nate. Apparently integrity is hard to find nowadays. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Well, as you can see, I like to surround myself with dudes that do have integrity, man. So that's what we're here doing. Sean Z, Nate, need to invite Tardio to the stream. He's been hitting subjectively lately as well. JD, give us a proper wood chipper.
Wood chipper!
There we go. I love that.
Did I clip?
No, you're good. You talked a little bit.
That's all right. We're still working on JD's audio, but we're working on it. Poop Squatch is the freakiest horror cow. JD, yeah. Oh, is that your Sasquatch pedophile wood chipper?
I'm not positive what's going on here, but I'm with the shits, dog. I like Poop Squatch, bro. Those AI videos of me and Yeti and Sasquatch hunting pedophiles and stuffing them into Mr. Chippy are like my favorite shit, bro. I wish I could get them tattooed across my ass cheeks.
By the way, my buddy Brian tracked down an industrial wood chipper, so we are looking at doing some content with a real wood chipper soon. All right, Epstein is one piece of the puzzle. There are more Epsteins. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. That's a great point. This is like one tiny little piece of the spider web, I'm sure, and we could get into that here in a second. Buff like Jesus, $20. Thank you, brother. No trance makes a single cell amoeba look like Einstein. Some poor tree has to recycle all that oxygen that he would waste up. Helen Keller had better tactical knowledge. Homies trained the Ukraine army. Look how that turned out, bro. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but I love you, and you always have the best username, man. All right, we did it. We made it through. Let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Where or who was he working for? All right, we got the flags up in the chat. Let's get some Israel flags in the chat for this one because it might spiral. Over under, was Jeffrey Epstein, he's working for our adversaries. For me, that doesn't, to me, Israel is kind of, that's what they are. But for you guys, if you had to give your best guess, who really was Jeffrey Epstein? Mossad, CIA, just a rich guy looking for clout? Like who do you guys really think this guy is?
So I think it was actually, go ahead, Gene.
Look, man, like look at who his handler was. In my opinion, Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't his accomplice. I believe Ghislaine Maxwell was his handler, dog. Like, look at who her dad was. Look at where his money came from. Look at where his connections came from. They all point to one specific thing behind you, Nate. Yeah. You know, I know that we're not supposed to say it. By the way. Yeah, we're super big fans. Go Team Azuli.
Yep.
So yeah, no, but I mean, like, I think it's really obvious, but then I think that it got a little murkier once he got busted in Florida. And I've actually presented the paperwork where, you know, it showed that he was cooperating with the FBI.
What did Acosta say?
Really?
Acosta, the guy that in 2005, he was brought to trial. This is what started the entire thing. He was brought to trial in 2005. They had him dead to rights. Afterward, he got the plea deal of all plea deals. As a matter of fact, the guy that was prosecuting him, who's going to be subpoenaed, and he's going to come out and talk, his name is Alex Acosta. Alex Acosta came out and said at the time, and he said, I quote, "We got the best deal that we could possibly get." Now, it didn't make any sense at the time, but looking back on it, that means that he was 100% protected because he was either an asset or he was compromised by our own intelligence agencies, and he was providing information and protected federally. That case right there, people miss that all the time. But when Alex Acosta said, listen, man, we got the best that we could possibly get, he was on wax with the paperwork, molesting underage girls. This was dead to rights. He should have gone to jail, and he got a plea deal, never served a day in jail, walked and went on with his life.
And other unnamed people got immunity because of his cooperation. And they've since released the paperwork saying that he was cooperating with the FBI and continued. An important word is continued cooperation with the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Now, I don't think that he was solely working with the FBI. I think that, you know, he was working with Mossad up until then. I think the FBI got brought in, and I think that he was probably shared with at least one other agency at that point in time, you know, the IA with the C in the front of it. But we actually have the paper trail that he was working and cooperating with the FBI. Wouldn't you want, so look at this objectively, say that you're just objectively a government agency and you find out that somebody is collecting blackmail material on the most powerful people in the entire world that's so earth-shattering. It's like the one deal breaker for pretty much, I mean, most people, maybe not some people on the flag behind you, but fucking little kids, raping little kids is a deal breaker for most fucking people, bro. And so, you know, if you get somebody on video balls deep in a child, you're going to do what they want you to do, dog.
You got them forever. Yeah.
Yeah, you've 100%. Got them by the fucking cajones. So if they find out that somebody is effectively getting, not even on US soil, but effectively getting video of world elites from not just here, but from Saudi Arabia, from the UK, from
Prince
all of
fucking Andrew. Prince
Yeah,
Andrew
dog,
was
like-
the only
dude, the
person
royal
that was
family.
he was the only person that was ever named. That's why Virginia Giuffre was killed. I believe she was killed because that was
Absolutely.
she was the first victim that came out. And who did she speak out against? Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew did not leave the island of the UK for 6 straight years until magically earlier this year, the FBI said they were no longer investigating the ties of Prince Andrew. It was the first time in 6 years he left the island because he thought he was going to get prosecuted. My question about Jeff Epstein, if we're talking about logical stuff here, you're a guy that has blackmail material, you're doing nefarious stuff, the CIA compromises you, they say you're our asset now. Well, what do you think you would do? You'd continue to work with those other people. You'd continue to make those connections. You'd continue to pal around with Adnan Khashoggi. You'd have a Saudi Arabian passport. You'd have a Jordanian passport. You'd have your passport revoked by the United States of America, but still travel internationally. This is what he did for the following 10 years of his life. I think he was working for an intelligence agency, but I think that it was multiple and he was compromised by our own that had everything on him. And he was forced to continue to live in that world. And he also did it because he's a sadistic fuck. Yeah. And he was able to continue his behavior. Like all of that lines up logically. That's not a far jump to make.
No, not at all whatsoever. And like,
think, oh, go ahead.
Look at Maxwell, bro. So she's his assistant. Well, I mean, she can pilot a submarine and a helicopter and an airplane. Like, how many fucking assistants do you know who are just out there to try to bring you teenage girls? Like the optics is, oh, well, she was a woman, so she made it easier for him to get to these girls. And she was just sort of adjacent. She was there. Maybe she sort of participated. She got some massages or whatever. That's exactly what a handler would try to put out. He was the fall guy. She was the person above him. And she would make herself look less culpable than him. That's exactly what she would play. And she's clearly trained to be able to get in front of cameras, to be able to get in front of interviews, and to be able to manipulate. Like her whole fucking interview was disgusting.
So interesting. Let's see if I saw the comment up here. I might have lost it. Oh, so I don't think the CIA was involved with Epstein because Mossad was involved. I mean, I wish I knew more about the intelligence world. Obviously, I don't. I don't think any of us do, right? Like we were
should ask Ben
guys.
Azoulay.
Yeah, no shit.
He knows.
But for me, the CIA, if we know history, the CIA is always looking for a way to control the U.S. president. We know that for sure. And talking about that, one of the U.S. presidents who we haven't brought up yet, who has had the most damning stuff come out about him in the victims' testimonies, is this right here.
Trusted, someone I thought was a friend, invited me to meet a powerful woman who could help advance my career. That woman happened to be Ghislaine Maxwell. I was asked to give her a massage, though I had almost no experience. And when I did, she praised me and promised introductions to someone enormously powerful, someone who could change the course of my life. And that man was Jeffrey Epstein. At first, I was an excited young woman on top of the world. Epstein flew me to his private island. He listened to my dreams, promised to help, but his promises came with a catch. The abuse began. He told me to keep it secret. He manipulated me with quid pro quo I did not consent to, but I felt I had no one to turn to. He was too powerful. I was just one of the many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures. In those moments, I realized how powerless I was. If I spoke out, who would believe me? Who would protect me? Epstein himself was the most powerful leader of our country. Epstein surrounded himself, with the most powerful leaders of our country and the world. He abused not only me, but countless others, and everyone seemed to look away. The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually. And while what I endured will haunt me forever, I live every day with PTSD. I live as a mother trying to raise my child while distrusting a world that has betrayed me. This kind of trauma never leaves you. It breaks families apart. It shapes the way we see everyone around us. But one thing is certain, unless we learn from this history, monsters like Epstein will rise again. There are files, government files, that hold the truth about Epstein, who he knew, who owed him, who protected him, and why he was allowed to operate for so long without consequence. A person I
All right, so that was pretty rough and hard to hard to listen to. I mean, fuck, I got pretty emotional just listening to her speak there, to bring it into like real terms, right, about what happened to these fucking poor women. But to your point there, like literally, like she straight up says that horrific things happened to her, what she was forced to do with Bill Clinton. Obviously not word for word, and we don't expect the victims to have to say that out loud, but I mean, this isn't just one, like, this isn't Trump. This isn't like one president. Seems to be that this was a presidential thing, at least for a few of them, which has to make you wonder, what are the odds that there was no intelligence agency being involved here, that this guy just happened to get this close to multiple presidents to blackmail? Like, come on, man. Like, we know the CIA whacked Kennedy, right? Like, we know these things now. And so the odds that, like, this wasn't all part of some fucking, and whatever that is, CIA, Mossad, to Aaron's point, different, intelligence agencies, I don't know. But I can't believe that this was just a dude who had powerful friends that just made it to the top with some blackmail. Because I'll tell you this, if he didn't have the backing of the CIA or Mossad, you run into some powerful person like Bill Gates who you compromise and then goes, oh, actually, you know what? Guess what? Now you're fucking schwack, dude.
Yep.
Because you pressed it to the limit. But if you've got the backing and people know of the CIA and you're compromised, then that's a whole different level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Blackmail, I guess you could say.
Oh, yeah. Well,
what's your guys' thoughts on that?
Dude, Jeffrey Epstein got his money out of nowhere. He was a failed teacher. He signed on to teach. He essentially quit right away. He somehow got hired by Bear Stearns with no financial backing behind him. He doesn't even have a college degree. He was bankrolled by Les Wexner. Les Wexner gave him a $50 million brownstone for $1. How did he get immediately to the top of the top with Les Wexner? Bill Clinton and Jeff Epstein were friends for a long time. It's rumored, although they can't prove it, that Jeff Epstein was the one that bankrolled the Clinton Foundation. Google what the Clinton Foundation did in Haiti. You want to talk about child trafficking and sexual abuse on a scale that will make you absolutely sick? Look what the Clinton Foundation, which is now under investigation, did in Haiti, and that was bankrolled. He openly donated $25,000 to the Clinton Foundation later in his life. They were friends. He had a picture of him in a blue dress and red high heels in his freaking house. Bill Clinton is a demon. When you look at the through line of presidents, it wasn't just Clinton. It wasn't just Trump. Barack Obama was connected to Jeff Epstein. Barack Obama was connected to the same sort of thing that was happening just inside of his culture. Why did the Diddy parties have Barack Obama shaped ecstasy pills that they would hand out? That's a weird thing to have in common with a whole bunch of other presidents. You're telling me that Jeff Epstein didn't have compromise on all these people, that he wasn't supported by everybody else? That's insane. That's insane to say.
And to your point of like the Diddy parties, I feel like that's just another extension of this big ass compromising network. Diddy was doing the same. You can't convince me that Diddy wasn't. JD, what's your thoughts? Do you think Diddy was just a celebrity that happened to do all this crazy shit, or also a dude that was compromising fucking powerful people?
Let me ask you this. If you get the floor plan for something that's wildly effective to be able to manipulate the most elite people on the planet, and you get away with it, I mean, you may lose your asset, but you get away with it, would you stop doing it? Would you stop doing it, or would you just sort of, change the scenario enough, tweak it just enough, go to a different culture, find a new asset? I'm sure that there's more than just Diddy. I think that Diddy was definitely connected in there, but I guarantee you there's names that we have never heard, that we're unaware of, that are out there doing very similar type of plays.
Yeah.
It's the playbook now. It's the playbook now, because
Diddy?
they know.
Yeah.
Who prosecuted Diddy? James Comey's daughter. You know the other high profile prosecution she had? Jeff Epstein. Boy, that's weird.
Yeah. The former director of the FBI's daughter. There's nothing to see here, guys.
We've known for a long time that Diddy has been working with the feds. Like, it's not been a secret that Diddy has been working with the feds. What was he working with the feds on? I didn't see any major drug busts. You know what I'm saying? The
Feds
feds
go to jail
are
for shooting Biggie.
No, he didn't go to jail for shooting Biggie. He didn't go to jail over the fucking the plot to shoot Pac. So what the fuck is he working with the feds for? Everybody knows he's doing it.
Yep.
A little weird there. Yeah.
All right. Real quick, I want to show you guys, because on this channel, everybody loves Bustamante and his takes. And so we're gonna get Andrew Bustamante's take on this whole thing. JD,
please let it be you dressed
I know
up like
you don't know
Bustamante.
who this is, but don't worry, you're gonna enjoy. This is a super secret Benazuli type CIA spy in the military world, but he's the American version. Okay, so let's see what old Timu Chaston said. Old Timu Jason Bourne has to say about this whole thing. Here we go. The truth about the Epstein files.
On everyone's lips at the moment, Jeffrey Epstein.
So Epstein's a fascinating case because Epstein fits all of the primary pillars of a foreign intelligence asset collecting information on American citizens, not an American spy working for someone else. It's funny because people keep thinking like CIA killed him, or people keep thinking that he somehow worked for CIA or maybe even worked for Mossad. What I see is the opposite, that he, if anything, was working independently, maybe even working for several countries, but collecting information on US people.
Is that what you believe?
I think that he could have been that. I don't know that I necessarily believe that it's true.
Because he was a very successful business person. He had lots of success.
At what?
Actually,
yeah.
No, he didn't.
And they said that they met Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein was really, really interested in their physics and science discoveries and wasn't interested at all in the financier stuff that he was pretending to, or he was purporting to be involved in. And this person said to me, it was just really bizarre, because he was only interested in the physics and science discoveries we had at Harvard. He wasn't particularly interested in finance to me.
And minors.
And that person was like really shocked by that.
What I've learned working with wealthy people and successful people is that they're often very intelligent and they're often misunderstood. And part of the reason that they have grown as successful as they have grown is because they don't really fit in anywhere else. If they would have fit in somewhere else, they would have been distracted by the area where they fit in. Instead, they had to carve their own interests, their own passions, their own drive.
Man on everyone's lips.
All right.
A very successful businessman. He's about as successful as a businessman as Wes Watson, dog. Fuck?
I told you guys, JD up front. The chat already knew what was coming. Yeah, it's just misunderstoods in the chat, boys, from old Bustamante. God, you can't, this guy is a treasure trove, man. Again, he's just... So Bustamante, as a CIA operative's take is, he wasn't working for the CIA or Mossad, but he was just a misunderstood businessman. Aaron, what's your take on Bustamante's
totally
take
independent.
on Epstein there?
Fucking wild. I never thought...
Real quick, but
I never thought I would hear a fucking ice colder take than fucking Trump talking about this shit. And Bustamante comes in and says, "Hold my fucking beer, dog." That is the most stupid look at I can't believe that guy was ever a field officer. It's just astounding to me. That just goes to show you that when we lionize these organizations, you think everybody that works there is a professional. That's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Of course, somebody who worked for the CIA is going to try to divert from the fact that the CIA would love to have blackmail on the president so they can control him. You think he's going to be like, yeah, so the agency I work for, yeah, we definitely want to catch the president fucking kids, bro, because then we can just make him do whatever we want. That makes perfect sense to me, that he would be that much of a fucking mental midget in front of the entire world on the internet when talking about stuff that's sensitive that he probably participated in.
Right. Absolutely. I just don't get it. I do have a correction from earlier. We were talking about the ranch that Jeff Epstein owns in New Mexico. That's the Zorro Ranch. I said Skinwalker because my dorky ass is reading a book on the UFO cover-up. Skinwalker Ranch is like a nexus for UFO activity. It's in Utah. That was a great correction. Thanks for the chat pointing it out. Zorro Ranch, Jeff Epstein bought. And this stuff was essentially Little St. James Island, but it was in New Mexico, the land of enchantment, out in the middle of nowhere. Oftentimes spent his time there. It was completely and totally isolated from everybody. People would go there and not come back. People would go there and come back with crazy stories. So I wanted to make that.
He was actually building it into a small town. Like they had a general store. They had all sorts of shit going on out there. It's actually, apparently last I saw, it was actually for sale. We missed a super, and it's from my sis, Michelle. So I want to make sure that we get this. Michelle said, "Hi guys, glad to catch you. Hope we get more info on the Epstein list. Stay talking about it. wood chipper. Sis, I'm sorry that it took us a minute to get to that. I really hope you're still in the chat and you saw me read this. We love you so much. As far as the Epstein list, where we are at as far as getting a list is that the survivors themselves have said, fuck you. We'll just collaborate. We'll talk about who abused us. We'll make a list between ourselves. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene, in an epic, and in my opinion, rare Marjorie Taylor Greene Dog the Bounty Hunter win. She got a rare W.
I feel like dude, I'll be honest. Marjorie Taylor Greene has just been crushing, dude.
She has.
Like
her and Massey. Yeah.
I know,
John Fetterman had a stroke and then finally came to his fucking senses. And I have to assume Marjorie Taylor Greene did the same thing. She was such a fucking clown show for so long. She's been her, Anna Paulina Luna, Thomas Massey, dude, killing it on this issue.
The only ones like really holding the conservative line. They're like the only ones now.
Yep.
Both Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene was the first one. She said it in front of the entire world at that press conference.
Yep.
She said, these women have everything to lose. These are the richest, most powerful men on the face of the planet.
God.
They could sue these women into homelessness and oblivion, and they've already received death threats to their families.
Just
she
make
said,
them disappear.
It's like scary, but I'm not afraid. If they want to give me the list, I will walk in and on the House floor in Congress. She said, I will absolutely say every single name of the people who they claim abused them. And I will basically, she was saying she won't give up who said what, but she'll just name them. And she has every right to be able to do that and go out and say that. And then it would go public. And she's saying, I'll be the face of this going public. Now, a lot of people, when I talked about that in the live, were like, yeah, well, she just wants to get reelected. Bro, these are employees. These are not idols. Yes, she's worried to keep her job. So she's performing the way that the people want her. That's what we want, bro.
She's the only one going to the base. Trump's not even going to the base. Trump is alienating the base. You ran
Trump
on this, bro.
Again, so I don't think he cares anymore.
I'll say this. Me and Eric talked about this a bunch. Like, those are going to be the people that win in 2026 are people 100%. That go to the base. And it's going to be these fucking grifters that completely abandon everything to like defend Trump under the Epstein shit. You guys are going to get destroyed.
Yep.
And Democrats are going to take your seats, dude. That's going to happen. They're going to get primary. The only people that are going to win these over 2026 is going to be people that go to the base. To you guys' point. All right, let's roll you through these super chats. We on a pretty good rant there. Make sure we catch them up. Nemi, Viking DNA maybe, but my heart is blue and white. So I'm just going to say that you love Israel just like I do, Nemi. On that one, Joe, what's up, buddy? I'm going to email Sergeant Major Weimer to draft JD to form up a new SF group. Sergeant Major Weimer, yeah, I mean, at some point, if Tim Kennedy gets his tab pulled, I'll ease up on Sergeant Major Weimer. But after all his photo ops with old TK, still not a fan.
I want to be special forces. Somebody loan me your Second Amendment rights. I lost mine and I can't find them.
We'll try to get them back for you at some point somehow. All right, the legend of Rob O'Neill lives on. God bless, boys. Time to eat some Venezuelan tacos. Man, there's some weird shit going on with that, man. Rob's come out and like randomly out of nowhere is like, if there is AAR after action review, guys, if there is AAR audio of the Bin Laden raid, whatever you hear in that is a lie. That's like he just randomly came out of nowhere and said that, and people are
it's like the meme. What an odd thing to say.
The Bart Simpson meme, where you're just like, that's a really fucking weird thing to say.
What an odd thing to say.
Yeah. So we'll have to. I don't know anything about that, guys. I'm not a SEAL. It's not my community or Aaron's community, but just like him just randomly saying that out of nowhere is like, that's fucking weird. But okay, man. Buff Like Jesus. Trench made a video saying he went to a training exercise to train Ukrainian Army, Land, Navy, and CQB. He just made a video on it. Did he really? I'll have to check it out. We'll talk. We'll talk to old Trenchy about that next week if we can get him on the show. All right, Nemi again. Sad truth: your government's morals are corrupted by ISR. The Israeli something? Yeah, I mean, fucking. I think we all know that at this point.
Yeah.
Duh.
Welcome to America. Nemi, thanks.
We
Nemi.
got it, bud. Someone fill Nate in on the ranch. Oh, we didn't talk about the ranch. Let's hit that the Epstein ranch as soon as we're done with the supers. Thanks, Blue. Grand Bear, what's up, brother? JD is spot. Ghislaine was definitely the handler. I didn't even think about that before, but when you think about it, you're like, oh, that makes fucking total sense.
Because he's a liability. He's a fucking lame, bro. He's a flop, bro. He's like he's what you would. And
that's why they got rid of him.
What in the criminal world, bro? He's what you would call a duck. He's the dude you print up a fake check for payroll, and then you use some asshole, some idiot, some lame like Epstein to go in and cash it because his face goes on it on video, and he's the fall guy, bro.
And then you get rid of him. Yeah.
And he's not the mastermind. You're the one printing up payroll checks. He's just the one that you send in to actually be the face of it so that you don't go to prison for as long.
All right. Heltzer Seltzer Andy Stump, our buddy, did a great Ironclad interview this week with John Kirikow, former top CA guy and torture program whistleblower, worth a watch. Yeah, I mean, I love watching any of Andy's stuff, so I'll have to check that out. Appreciate that. Easy peasy. $5. He was caught red-handed. If he was a spook, he sucked at it. Yeah, that's actually fair. He probably was pretty terrible. To JD's point just now, he really was shitty at his job. Man was absolutely blatantly evil, but he called in favors to get out of jail. Vile until he couldn't, obviously.
Favors, he just rolled and started working for the FBI, dog. Like, not only was he a pedophile, he was a snitch pedophile, dog.
Yeah. And then they just were like, all right, you got to fucking go, dude. All right, Fitzy Place, $5. Sorry, I'm late to the party, but I love the shirt and hat. Aaron's showing off his beautiful hair that we don't have. Whoa. Fuck you, Aaron, on that. Anyway.
Yeah, I have some hairs.
Not do it like compared to Aaron. Aaron's got luscious locks, brother.
Yeah,
we're not.
My hair is on point, dog.
Which I don't know how you've kept it. That didn't work out for me, but that's okay. Smartest man in the world. I feel like you got some Italian DNA in you, and that's why
Irish, brother. Hair. My grandpa Kilroy was getting haircuts every week until he was like dead, until he was like 82. That dude was getting a haircut every week. It's fucking fantastic. Yeah. Shout out to Grandpa Kilroy. Yeah.
All right, smartest man in the world, $5. JD, did you get my invite to bring me on stream? I want to issue a challenge to AC and friends. Let's play ball, and then let's play Warhammer. That's for you, JD. I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm not sure where you sent that invite to, my friend. But no, I haven't heard anything about it until right now. Just this second. You know, it's funny. I was talking to Angry Cops yesterday because I wanted him to look at this. I was like, bro, do you have a second? I want you to see this fucking retarded shit. And I was going to send him the Benazuli video. And he was like, actually, I'm training troops right now. And he sent me some pictures.
Wait, is he still active duty?
Yeah. He's doing drill sergeant shit. He's super happy.
I didn't know
about
that.
It right now.
I knew he used to be a drill sergeant. I didn't know he was still.
Yeah.
Is he in the guard, or is he actually just active?
I'm not sure.
Aaron, do you know? That's probably not a question for JD. Sorry, I'm like throwing military terms at you.
Who is it?
People in the chat will know. Chat will know.
Angry Cops. The chat.
Oh yeah, no, Angry Cops is still in. Like
that's my dog, bro.
I don't think he's active duty. He's with my boy down at Pepper Box. He's with Mad Minute Tactician, and the dude's over at Pepper Box.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I love Mad Minute, dude.
I know that dude. Jacob,
he's like, hey, do you want to? Mad Minute the other day hit me up. He's like, hey, do you want to come on a live stream with me and just shit talk Shrek? And I was like,
fuck yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
He's my
boy, dude.
I just saw him down in San Antonio.
Man, dude.
Yeah, I just saw him down in San Antonio. I love that motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. He's the fucking man. All right. Because I can, $5. I have a very different Epstein and P. Diddy investigation reports. How can I send to you guys? If you've got something special going on, brother, good on you. Email me. It's gonna be hard for me to believe that you have shit on Epstein, but you know. All right, Buff like Jesus. Timu Jason's born. Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Which just all right, I can't. Like Boosie Monte gets me going, dude. Like I almost want to go put on the wig, but I probably shouldn't, man. It'll spiral out of control. All right, Timu Jason Bourne can also be unrestricted all the way to the wood chipper. No, Andrew Boosie Monte, from what we don't know, he's not a wood chipper. He's just interesting. He's an interesting.
We saved the wood chipper for baby rapists, pedophiles.
We can't put him in that, but appreciate it. Everyone should phone, call, spam, email your elected leader on Epstein to make it so they can't conduct business. Yeah. Does that work? Does like calling your elected official actually do anything? Aaron,
it's
you're the
annoying.
political guy.
I mean, it's annoying, and if enough people do it, they'll be afraid that their constituents aren't gonna put them back in there. But this is one of those issues you're not gonna vote your way out of. Like it just is. Like, man, our representative republic has limits, and this is one of them, man. Like, the time for voting and calling your fucking congressman is over. It's time to start fucking refreshing the tree of liberty because
putting people in fucking prison. Yeah.
Put people in a fucking guillotine. Bring back tar and feathering.
In the wood chipper. Straight they go.
Fuck
all right. Knocked Viking. JD, please investigate Cyrax Chance Wilkins.
You know, I will. He's a weird looking motherfucker, bro. And I will definitely, I got kind of on it, but I'm ADHD. I'm like a ferret in a microwave on crystal methamphetamines. And I bounced off to something else that said shiny. And I was like, oh, but I'll get back to it. Thank you for the reminder, my dude.
How did you get out of the microwave? You're a squirrel. Like
nobody fucking knows, bro.
All right. This is a fucking
Zachary Gallagher.
Right here.
Do you support the death penalty for minors if they commit gruesome crimes? Depends on the gruesome crimes, but yeah. Absolutely. I mean, like, here's the thing, bro.
Right out the gate. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Wow.
So here's the thing. Well, I'm very vocal about the death penalty. I'm one of the only prison dudes on social media that actually is super pro death penalty. I think that we need to, like my friend Sheriff Grady Judd said, I like the electric chair. We need an electric bench because we can get more done. But here's the thing, like it depends, bro, because I think a lot of people have a different definition of gruesome crimes. Like there's murder and then there's like murder. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that murder is not the worst crime you can commit. I think rape and pedophilia are worse crimes than murder because there's justifiable reasons to kill a motherfucker. There's never a justifiable reason to rape or sexually assault somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like there's absolutely reasons to kill people. Like so one of my really good friends, and he was the second cellmate that I had in prison, was 17 years old, and his uncle, he found out his uncle was doing bad shit to his little sister, and he asked for help. He tried to report it. Nobody would do anything about it. This was in fucking Elmira, my G, right up the street from us.
Wow.
And he ended up getting his uncle to a campfire out in the woods. And, he ended him, dismembered him, put his body in multiple locations, went home and bleached his skin and under his fingernails, did it really wise. Unfortunately, his dad told on him. And he ended up getting 2 life sentences.
What?
Now, I don't think that that's a gruesome crime. I think that that's totally justifiable in my opinion.
Well, it's kind of like, JD's friends with the Alaskan Avenger. Do you know the Alaskan Avenger, Aaron?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah,
that guy's doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he didn't kill nobody. He used the sex offender registry like a to-do list and started kicking in doors with the hammer and just started bashing on these dudes. I actually have video that no one's ever seen that he said I can release. I can't, I have to wait till I have a Patreon because there's no way YouTube's going to let me play it. But I have a video. I have a video of him that was taken while he was like slapping the fuck out of one of these dudes.
Yeah, that's
not for you. It's incredible. So yeah, but I do support the death penalty for minors if they commit what I would consider to be gruesome crimes. I mean, if you've got a 15-year-old who's brutally raping a toddler or something like that, 100%, you don't deserve to be on the planet, bro. Do you know how many victims somebody like that could rack up in the lifetime that they have left in front of them? I'm sorry, but like there's certain shit that you do where you're too much of a liability for the community around you. And it's not about you and your human rights anymore. It's about doing damage control and saving people from the evil, disgusting creature that you are, because I believe in evil. I've seen evil, and pedophiles aren't people, man. They're creatures.
Aaron, thoughts? Can we beat that? I don't think we could beat that.
I don't think I can. It's a tough one just because it's minors, man. Like, I mean, I look at what I did when I was 25, when I was 18. I look at the terrible decisions that I made. But I tend to agree with JD, man. Like, there are some dogs that just need put down. And you can tell when there's a difference between making a terrible decision and then spending the rest of your life in jail and doing something gruesome. The only thing I'd say about the death penalty, you get death penalty, fuck it. You get an appeal and then you go to the fucking chair. None of this 15-year appeals, none of that. It's a deterrence.
I knew we were best friends, bro. I talk about that all the time, man. You get one appeal and then we take you behind the courthouse and we double tap you.
You're done.
Period. Because people sit on death row forever and they're protected in there. And we have to pay to feed and house you for 40 fucking years and run you through, just gratuitous amounts of appeals and shit. No, dude.
You get one appeal for procedural shit. It's stupid.
Do you know how hard it is to convict somebody and then get 12 people to all agree? Conscionably feel like this person deserves the death penalty. Now, they've expedited that out in the state of Florida, where at the same time that they changed the law to where they could give people who, if you're under if you rape someone who's under the age of 13, you could get the death penalty. And in conjunction with that, they've made it so you don't need all 12 jurors to agree. You only have to have the majority of 8. So if 8 jurors agree that you should get the death penalty, the rest of the states, you have to have all 12 agree. Do you know how hard it is to get 12 normal citizens out there to agree, okay, what this person did is so bad that I'll let it ride on my conscience that we're agreeing that their life needs to be taken away? That's really difficult, bro. So if you get that twice, sorry, but it's night time, bitch.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with both y'all. I don't give a fuck. You're 16 years old and you do something just absolutely apparent that's fucking worthy of the death penalty. Yeah, you're fucking gone, dude. To JD's point, you're not going to provide anything to society going forward. You like, let's say you fucking raped like a fucking 4-year-old. Nah, dude. Nah. See ya.
Yep.
I
Some
got
dogs
0
need
for
put
that.
down.
All right, last couple, and then I want to get into the last thing we're going to talk about is what happens next on the Epstein case. A few more of these, and then we'll do that. All right, Dusty O, $20. What? Thank you, brother. What if the 2005 trial? We still have to talk about the ranch. We have to talk about the ranch. What is the 2005 trial? What if the 2005 trial was always a part of the plan? Because after that, it was made public. Anyone that ever flew on his plane was compromised, guilty or not. You do this, and I can keep that info from going public worth a lot. And it's tough to tell with, like, I mean, after the 2005 trial, here's the thing though, this dude, like, 2005, he gets fucking popped. Who's fucking riding on this guy's jet to the island after this? Obviously a shit ton of them, but it's like he's already been popped by the feds, and you're like, yeah, this is a good idea to ride on this fucking dude's fucking jet out to the island. But they do it. You know,
I think it's a big brain question. I applaud the question. I just think that it compromises, the integrity of the mission. It would, if so, in the drug dealing world, if your dealer gets popped and then he gets out mysteriously the next day, you kind of know what time it is. That motherfucker, jogging, dog. He in there singing, and then he hit you up all of a sudden, and he's like, "Yeah, you want to buy a big quantity?" You're like, "No, I certainly don't, bro."
That's actually I would have never thought about it that way, JD, but that's a great way to look at that. Yeah, like, maybe I don't want to interact with you anymore.
I have drug dealer brain, bro. Too many years.
Right.
Too many years.
400
years.
We were raised seeing the U.S. as a true moral heroes. I mean, that's. I'm glad some part of the world still thinks that. All right, Nate and JD watch for Freedom's 3-3. He spent hours on anti-hero dogging you guys, saying you're fake druggies. Watch out for him in the chat. Yeah, man, I was like hopped up on fucking meth and shit my entire fucking 10 years in SF, dude. Like, yeah,
I was a drug addict for 20 years.
JD's
meth,
honest about that, but like,
I've talked about all that shit, bro. I put meth in my butt because it bypasses the liver and it gets you higher. The fuck are you gonna say about me and drugs, bro? Like, homie, I've already said it all on the internet.
He's one of the Shrek simps. There's like 3 or 4 of them that are lurking around, dude. Not a big deal.
Sweet. I wonder how Shrek's balls taste. Maybe he could fucking illuminate us on that.
Oh, I don't know, but I'm not gonna get into that, JD. All right, JD for president. Right after that, JD for president.
Love you, Bubba. Hell yeah, brother.
Party. All right, Corsair trainers, $10. JD, how common is it for sex offenders to take themselves of the count when they are locked up? What is of the count?
I think he's talking about how many of them Epstein themselves. It's not nearly enough, bro. I've heard of it a couple times.
Didn't you say they're pretty protected in places like Oregon and California and the jails, right?
So like, here's the thing: is that like Oregon tried to protect them. They literally built a complex of Snake River. It was how Snake River started, which is one of the biggest. I think it's the biggest prison in the state now. It started off as one complex, and it was a sex offender complex. They put it out in the middle of Ontario, like out in the desert and shit. And it was like the cushiest prison in the state. And that's where they shot all the sex offenders.
That's such an Oregon thing to do.
The sex offenders sued the state of Oregon for discrimination because turns out pedophiles don't want to live with other pedophiles either. And they won. They won the discrimination lawsuit.
Of course they did, dude. This is
DOC
like the most...
was like,
For those of you
was like, okay, bitch, gotcha. And they were like, they started moving sex offenders out to like OSP and all the places where the gang members and the lifers are. And they started moving good dudes like lifers and gang members in with the pedophiles, and they built two more complexes, and it got really, really bloody. Oregon doesn't have a traditional like PC. Like California has PC, and then they have special needs yards, and then 50-50 yards, which is like kind of, I think, protective custody. And then they have like the mainline yards out there. But they're not, so the protections that they get in a lot of these, it's the blue states, is that they are a protected class, and you can get a hate crime if they can determine that you assaulted them due to the nature of their crime. Now, there's no other crime you can commit besides a sexually based crime where you're protected due to the nature of your crime. And it's the most insidious, disgusting crime you can commit. So it doesn't make sense to me, but they still be getting fucked up. I haven't seen a lot of them end themselves, but a lot of them die.
So you guys know, me and JD live in Oregon. That's the most Oregon story you'll ever hear in your life, that there's a separate prison for chomos, and the chomos sued the state for discrimination, because it wasn't fair. Like, that's just, and then they won in Oregon. So there you go. If you guys want to move to Oregon, that's what we got going on here.
And that created the second bloodiest thing I think that's happened in Oregon. Like, as far as my knowledge of what's gone on in there. The first bloodiest thing I think was when the sex offenders decided they were going to start their own gang, and they started trying to take the shot callers of the other gangs off the yard, and within like literally hours, it turned into a bloodbath on the yard. They were called the Knights of the Fallen. Really D&D ass name, bro.
Oh my God. All right, this one's going to be for Aaron. Even though I was on a dive team, I never got to go to dive school. So SF dive question. Here we go. Do you know anyone that got the balloon surgery to help them with equalizing, what's the Eustachian tube dysfunction? Aaron, why don't you take that one, obviously?
Yeah, so the problem is you got to pass the SF, the Flight 3 physical in order to go to dive and free fall for free fall duty. So a lot of times the surgery itself will prevent you from going in. Like, it's hard to get a waiver for that thing. So some better things that you can do. There's a ton of good alternatives that you can do, all the way from positioning to learning how to clear correctly. A lot of times guys will say they have eustachian tube problems, and it's not a eustachian tube problem. They just don't know how to properly clear and adjust their eustachian tube to get that pressure to equalize. I will say, and here's the bad news, sometimes with those eustachian tube dysfunction, people can never clear, and it's either blow your eardrum out and then deal with it, or like when you get the surgery, it's a weird like catch-22, but you'll get the surgery and then your eustachian tube will work fine, and then they look at your med record and go, well, you had this surgery and it affects your eustachian tube. We can't clear you for dive school. Yeah, it's this crazy thing. So, man, there's a bunch of good videos out there on Valsalving, and then there's a thing called a Frenzel maneuver. It's basically a reverse Valsalva. Google those two terms. Frenzel is Frenzel. Google those two terms and you'll find a whole bunch of stuff. Free divers have a bunch of great stuff on eustachian tube clearing, maintenance, and holistic treatments for it. Good luck.
There you go. All right, Tom Lennon, $5. Florida, literal best state in the union right now, last free state in the country, and Grady Judd is an effing stud. Met him before. Super kind dude. JD, you lived in Florida pretty recently, right?
Yeah, man. So I went out to Florida. I was a fugitive from the state of Oregon, and I found out they wouldn't extradite because Florida and Oregon don't like to do business with each other.
No, they
so
don't.
I went and lived on the beach for 10 years, dog. And Florida is an incredible state. I love it there. I moved back to Oregon because, my parents are getting on in years. I want to spend every day that I possibly can with them while they're still here on this planet. Because even when I gave up on myself, they never gave up on me. And Grady Judd is an absolutely great dude. I met him recently. He is America's fucking sheriff, bro. He's the dude who goes out on the news and talks about, we shot him. We shot him a lot. We shot him so many times you can read the Sunday paper through him.
I love him. One of them, he got asked, they go, why did you shoot him? Like, it was like 287 times, right? And they're like, why did you shoot him 287 times? And he goes, because we ran out of bullets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gangster.
Like, oh shit.
Gangster.
Yeah.
I love Florida with all my heart. I consider myself to be a Californian because those are the three states that I have lived in. Florida has integrated its way into my motherfucking DNA, bro. That's why I have an alligator tattooed on the side of my head over here. But I would contend that I love Texas, going out to San Antonio and hanging out with those dudes out there, man. I vibe with Texas, dog. Texas is a pretty free state as well. They just need to get their shit together on that marijuana shit. I don't even smoke, but it baffles me that they want to trip about a plant, man, in a state that cares about freedom.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Then we're gonna hit the last part of the show, and we'll bounce out of here. Intellectual iconoclasm. $5. Elected officials are all felons, either before or after election. Let's just elect reformed felons. You know what? I kind of like the idea, guys, of like just a reset. Like if you're in Congress, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, no, sorry.
Term limits 2 years, and then we go.
Incumbent reelection.
You're done.
All of you are out, and it's just a free election for fucking every seat in Congress.
Get every 75-year-old. The boomer generation was supposed to give up power 30 years ago to Gen X and then the millennial generation. They just haven't. I love the idea. Hard cancel. You get to serve your term. You're done. We're putting term limits in. It's going to be a full 437 seat replacement. We're done. We're going to start fresh. We're going to get young people in there. I want age limits. I want term limits, and I want fucking IQ tests. And I want it to all be public, and then we can go ahead and have fuck drug tests. Let them do whatever they want. They're all doing coke anyway.
Dude,
I don't give a shit.
That was like who is what's his name? I think he's running for re-election again now in Florida. No, Madison Hawthorne.
Yeah,
crippled dude that, like was going to all the coke parties,
sex parties,
started all the sex parties.
Here for it, dog.
He's rerunning, but I mean, like he's dude, it's hilarious because he just like came out and was like, yeah, all I was doing was like going to coke parties and sex parties and
He's
shit.
the only one that's been honest about it. I'd rather have the devil I know versus the devil I don't. When Nancy Pelosi is drinking vodka in her fucking coffee at 8:30 in the morning and going and saying wild shit and then pretending like she's not, like, fuck you. Give me somebody that, I do a little coke on the weekends, but I'm here for you and I work for you. And by the way, I work 19-hour days because I'm yacked out.
And we got a Brandon Herrera for Congress. This is a yes. Dude. This is a definite good dude that we want to have. All right, last thing let's talk about. What happens next, boys, in this? Do we see actual arrests? Do we see Bill Gates getting fucking hauled in fucking handcuffs and put in prison for the rest of his life? Is that what we're going to see? Or is this going to be another big fucking show shit and a year from now nothing happened and everybody's still just pissed off? What do you guys think?
Well, like, look, we have a mutual respect for Anna Paulina Luna. She said this is going into a criminal investigation. I would love to, like, I personally believe that Anna Paulina Luna has integrity and probably believes what she's saying. As far as people like Bill Gates getting dragged, bro, I don't see Bill Gates getting fucking dragged, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see well, I mean, yeah, bro. Like, I think that we might see some low-level busts. But I don't think that some of these people, I don't think they're ever going to come to justice unless we get that hard reset that we're talking about. Like
Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's a great example of, like, we know you 100% raped women on that island because they've said it. And is that? And
I think that he could get dragged, bro. But he's old and used and washed, bro, and like he's not of use to anybody anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I think that there was a point at which he was pretty untouchable, but I think that he's pretty wide open right now. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude's on death's door. And that's part of the frustrating thing is that they've waited. They've waited until like most of these people, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to spend 3 years in prison hospice, bro. And it's going to be a federal prison. So it's going to be kind of like a cushy prison hospice, like a fucking Martha Stewart type of thing. It just sucks, bro. It sucks because this should have been dealt with at the time. And the fact that it wasn't is just such a fucking sterling indictment against the United States and how corrupt we've become. That money or a little bit of status, who you know, can mean that you can get away with raping kids, dog. It's disgusting.
Yep. Yeah, dude, I'm a realist and a pragmatist, man. What I want and what I think are going to happen are two separate things. I think sunlight is the best disinfectant, even if it doesn't lead to any sort of arrest, even if I don't get to see these people frog walked in cuffs and go to jail. Man, Bill and Hillary Clinton are coming up. They've got subpoenas. They're supposed to testify, I believe, October 5th in front of Congress. I want those things to be public. I want them to be open. I want to hear every single piece of information. Of course, I want these people to be punished. Fucking wood chipper for all of them, fucking immediately. That's exactly what I want. I think in a realist sense of the word, I agree with JD, man. I don't think you're going to see, I think we hit some low level folks. I think we hit some people, maybe a politician or two, but nobody of consequence. I think it's somebody that's out of power. And I think they do it almost as a sacrificial lamb. But you know, what I will say is the output that I'm most happy with is out of COVID. We know that the government lied to everybody. COVID red pilled so many Americans to look and know.
It might have been the best thing that happened to America, honestly,
ever
for the
and
long
I think
term.
This is a natural outgrowth of it, right? Now you've got normies that are talking about this list. People have had to Google and research Jeffrey Epstein to be like, what is this about? Why am I seeing headlines on this on CNN and MSNBC and Fox and all this other bullshit? I think that if you can get enough sunlight on it and if you can get enough names out there, even if it doesn't lead to arrest, I think it gives us the desired outcome, which is the next time that we find somebody, public opinion is going to shift in such a heinous way because this is everybody's red line. Kids are everybody's red line. Like it doesn't matter.
It proved it. This did not go away.
No,
they wanted it to go away 4 months ago.
It's not going away.
It was like everybody was like, nope.
Yep.
Go to Go ahead.
That you could tell that that's Trump's frustration. He's tried everything in his little fucking lame ass playbook to make this go away. And this is something he can't control. And he doesn't like things that he can't control, especially with his own base. His own base are some of the most vocal about this. And he's like, wait, you're supposed to back my play, even if I'm like backing people who raped kids. And I think it's frustrating him. And that's what we're seeing when his mask slips in these situations where he has to talk about this. You know, regardless, for me, at the end of the day, it's always going to be regardless of whether or not he ever did anything inappropriate with a child or not, which all the shit that he says and how weird and sketchy that is aside, if let's say that he just, you know, grew up and was, you know, big in the 80s and he just said retarded shit like most people in the 80s did and he never grew out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say if we extend him all of that grace, whether he's guilty or not, he's covering up for people that are guilty. He's covering up for the whole situation. So he's complicit after the fact. 1000% he's complicit after the fact. And that makes you just as guilty. Whether you are a pedophile sympathizer, somebody who covers up for pedophiles, you're facilitating the rape of children. And I'm sorry, but there's a place where we put those people, or we should put those people. And I yell it a lot, but I'm not going to say it about a U.S. president.
Yeah, for me, to kind of like your guys' point, what I see happening is it's kind of convenient timing that we're moving into the election cycle, and all of a sudden now Republicans are like, oh shit, the public is really pissed off about this and we're in power. Maybe we need to actually fucking not drag our feet and do something about this if we don't want to lose 100 seats in the House. I mean, I talked to Aaron about this like 4 months ago. I was like, if Republicans do nothing about this and are just like, look the other way, don't worry about the fucking children being raped, like you're going to lose power. And Gavin Newsom's going to be president in 2028.
Oh my God.
And I'm not saying I obviously don't want that, but like, don't get it twisted. If you do nothing and you're just like, and you do the Trump play of like, don't worry about it, nobody look over at this, that ain't going to work. So what I think is it's politics. And I think all of the politicians are now going, this is a losing fucking platform for us to try to defend this. Now we're going to try to make it look like there's action, which, hey, that's how it's supposed to work, right? Like America has said, we are going to fucking skull fuck you and not reelect you if you don't do something about this. And I think they're all sort of figuring this out at this point of like, we have to do something to salvage this or we're going to give it up. Right. And it might be too late. I think Democrats are probably still going to sweep the House because this has been such a fucking shit show. But if they make some high profile arrests before the election, like big names, shit, you might see some salvageability, but I don't know.
It's why they're starting the investigations now. It's because they take a little bit of time to do.
That's why I think that this is happening. And I think that Aaron nailed it right on the head. We're going to see some sacrificial lambs. They're not going to be the people at the very top, but we're going to see some people that are going to get hit. We're going to see some people that are, you know, who knows what, if they make arrests, then it's up to the court system and they can be like, well, we did our job. You know, part of the problem in this country is that We have such shitty laws. We have laws. Lawmakers are out there actively making laws that go so light on people who hurt our children. When really, if you ask the average American citizen, like, what are you more concerned about? Somebody stealing your credit card number, stealing your car, or somebody raping your kid? They're going to be like, the kid, dog. What are you more worried about? Pablo next door selling some fucking cocaine, or, Chester the molester on the other side trying to lure your kid to the basement. The kid. But when it comes to what the laws are represented, they don't represent the people and the people's concerns. The lawmakers no longer represent the people and the people's concerns. And my boy Death Silence right here just said, fat electrician for Senate. If we started getting people like fucking just normal people, the three of us, people from our chat, people like Nick, people like Brandon Herrera in there, it wouldn't take a majority because we'd bully the fuck out of these fucking people.
Pat Harrigan is doing it in North Carolina. He's a great Green Beret. He's a friend of mine. He's a good man, but those are people that it is a representative republic.
So
the
hard
people
to win
that are
for those
in there,
guys, dude.
Yeah. But he needs backup.
Can I tell you guys quick story before let's do these 2 super chats and then quick story. Nemi, do you agree with prisons being private for profit? Goddamn, that's a fucking entire my business school, we did an entire fucking 10-page paper on that. No, I don't think they should be for profit.
No, because it creates a situation in a scenario where there are quotas, and it incentivizes people being locked up. And that's why
it incentivizes people like Kamala Harris keeping people in past their prison times because they make money off of it. You know?
Thank you.
We need a wood chipper emoji real quick. Politics, right? And to your guys' point, yes, it's so hard for someone that wants to go in and do the right thing. I'll tell you a quick story, because when I got out of the military, my dad was big in politics. Yes, my dad was a lawyer, a Green Beret, and big in politics, for all that you want to clip that and think it's a insult that me and my dad are super successful. But when I got out, he's still pretty tied into the Republican Party here in Oregon. We sat down with the big money donors to talk about having me potentially run for a seat before I knew anything about it. Within 45 minutes of this conversation, and no knock on the guys I talked to, they were already like, look, we have this incumbent and Republican who's in the timber area. He's not voting the way we want to, so we're going to primary him with you. And what we need you to do is we need you to vote this way on X, Y, Z, yada, 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 because he's not voting that way. And now we're going to kick him the fuck out and put you in. And it was just like, dude, I've known you guys for 30 minutes. And you're already telling me exactly what bills I have to vote on in what way before. I'm trying to get my feet wet about what any of this even means. And they're just excited, this is a great candidate. We'll get you. You're going to be perfect for us to do what you want me to do. To my point there is, if you don't, unless you're like someone like Brandon, who can self-fund himself into this, which is huge. If you're just somebody that just has to run, you got to fucking do what the lobbyists say, man, because it's an expensive game. And if you want to run an election and you don't do what you're told, especially once you're in power, and then you don't vote the way the people who put you in power told you to vote, guess what they're going to do? They're going to primary your fucking ass 2 years later, and you're fucking out. And that's the way politics works, guys, for everybody in the country. Mm-hmm. So to your guys' point, if you're not like Brandon and you can't self-fund your campaign and run on morals and integrity, you're fucked, man. And sadly, that's anyway, I left that 45-minute meeting and was like, to my dad, I was like, no fucking thanks. I don't want nothing to do with politics, because if I can't just go in there and try to make the right decision that I want to make, then what are we even doing here? But sadly, that's the way it all works, guys. I mean, from top to bottom, man. So how do you overhaul that? Maybe, I don't know. It costs millions and millions and millions of dollars to run an election, even at a local level at this point. So,
well, hey, I'll plug something. So I'm the president for Nevada for America First Vets. We put GWAT veterans and people that are actually representative of the morals, values, and culture that we have here in America. If you guys want to talk about getting into politics, if you guys have any idea, you hit me up. I'll hook you up with your state rep and we'll have the conversation, because we put people in seats that aren't going to follow the party line, that are going to vote for their constituents. If you want to talk about it, you hit me up. We'll talk about it.
Yep.
I would love to do something for Oregon. I don't think as long as we have mail-in voting that we're ever going to really get effectively what we need here, because we're never going to represent the people with mail-in voting.
You're right.
They've had us locked up here on some crooked ass shit forever. And apparently saying that is somehow racist now.
Look at
Oh, wow.
I've seen a bunch of these in the chat. This is so fucking stupid. You don't get the joke?
They don't. I was answering in the chat. They were like, "What is that flag a joke?" I'm like, "Nope, it's serious. He's funded by APEC."
Guys, if you're new to the channel, this is a giant fucking satirical joke. I hope you understand that with all that fucking anti-Israel shit we talk about here. God, I make fun of Matt Tardio. I'm buddies with Matt. He has his Israel flags in the chat. It's a running joke where I make fun of Matt. Okay, calm down.
We're supporting Ben Azuli through a very rough time in his life. Someone emailed him and he's having a hard time.
They're our greatest ally, guys.
That's fucking good right there. All right, yes, guys, if you're new, obviously we're not big fans. It is what it is. All right, bring me on. I'll give you contact info off stream. AC wants to nail teachers. Pick up the phone. A survivor, throw me down. Maybe that's for you, JD. All right, we gotta wrap this one up. This has been a great first episode. Thank you very much to Aaron Love for coming on, being the first guest. We'll definitely have you back on here. And yeah,
so
guys,
handsome.
This has been a fucking awesome first stream. Me and JD are excited about the show. So, we have, who we have coming on next week, guys? Jimmy Watson, Navy SEAL Jimmy Watson. You guys imagine what that stream's going to be like with the three of us? Aaron kept this somewhat professional, thank God.
Yes.
Now Jimmy
I'm so bricked up for this, bro. I love Jimmy.
Jimmy is less
you guys
professional
are gonna
than me
fucking
and
burn
JD.
it to the ground.
So.
I'm gonna be erect this whole entire week, bro.
I can't wait.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for the super chats and everybody showing up. Thanks to Aaron. Thanks to JD. And we will catch y'all next week. All right. See ya. All right.